Hi everyone, and welcome to 164 Diecast. In this video, we're going to take a journey back to the beginnings of the Mattel Hot Wheels Collectors Club. In 2002, Mattel created the Hot Wheels Redline Club, where, for an annual $10 fee, Hot Wheels collectors could become a member and have exclusive access to specially created cars and vehicles only available online via the internet. In the beginning, each member received a special blister card car, a Mattel Collector Club button, and a membership card. I was one of the first to sign up for this membership and have a number of these vehicles. These will be reviewed in the future here on the channel. But before the Redline Club, there was the Hot Wheels Collectors Club in 2001. This was the first time Mattel had marketed cars and vehicles solely online and aimed directly at collectors. They didn't know yet how this would work out, so the only cars released were a '68 Cougar and a Rodger Dodger in yellow. They followed those two cars with 4 Harley Davidson branded vehicles that had to be purchased as a set for $39.99. Needless to say, they were an instant hit. In 2002, Mattel changed the name of the Hot Wheels Collectors Club to the Redline Club and released over 30 castings. Today, we're going to look at this first 4-vehicle Harley Davidson set. As already mentioned, this set sold for $39.99. However, each vehicle was packaged individually in plain white boxes, and the cars included were placed in styrofoam coffin packaging. This was a departure from previous sets sold by Mattel, as earlier sets were in 2, 3, and 4-car packages, with colorful boxes and often in a diorama setting related to the theme of the included cars. These multi-car sets were mostly sold in hobby and specialty shops, and sometimes included partnerships with merchandisers such as Target, Walmart, Hills, and other major retailers. In addition, the Harley set, along with other Hot Wheels Club, Redline Club vehicles, were only available online. The Hot Wheels HWC Harley Davidson 4-vehicle set is a significant piece of early collector history, as it arrived just before the official launch of the Redline Club in 2002. While technically an HWC exclusive, it is considered a spiritual predecessor to RLC sets and is often grouped with early RLC collections because it was sold through the same membership-based website. The set features 4 vehicles, each finished in a signature black and orange Harley Davidson livery with premium rear riders and highly detailed tampos. It consists of a '38 Ford cabover, a heavy-duty vintage truck with the bold Harley Davidson logos on the doors, Rocket Oil, a futuristic streamlined tanker truck that fits the heavy industrial Harley aesthetic, a '56 Ford pickup, widely considered the star of the set by collectors, and features a classic matte satin finish, and a Harley Davidson Panhead, a 1/64th scale motorcycle, which was rare for premium sets, with a chrome finish and rubber tires. The Mattel product numbers for these cars in order are 50889 for the box truck, 50890 for the Rocket Oil, 50891 for the '56 Ford pickup, and 50892 for the '48 Panhead. While exact numbers for these very early Hot Wheels Club releases are sometimes debated, they were produced in much smaller quantities than modern RLC releases, making them highly sought after on the secondary market today. It is believed only 10,000 sets were made. Because many collectors at the time were not yet comfortable buying cars online or were unaware of the website's launch, many of these sets were broken up or opened, making complete mint in-box sets increasingly rare. I was able to get 2 of these sets, of which I left one completely unopened. The cars you see in this video are from a set I purchased from the secondary market and had already been opened before I got it. This was the very first Hot Wheels collector cars I ever purchased. When the Redline Club arrived in 2002, I joined and purchased all my club cars directly. At the time, $39.99 was considered a high price. These days, that is a bargain. Today, you will often see collectors selling these cars individually on the secondary market like eBay. Because the 38 Ford Cabover and the Rocket Oil are highly collectible castings compared to the motorcycle, they usually command higher individual prices, often selling for $25 to $40 each, while the motorcycle might only fetch $10 to $15. You can find additional information about this and other Redline Club cars here. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Hot Wheels Redline Club beginnings. And, as always, thank you for stopping by 164 Diecast. And we will see you on the next video.